Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Today, we'll be trying something completely new. It's clear that I'm still a beginner at the whole game development stuff, and so I thought it'd be interesting to make a video series of how I actually start and fully develop a small game, and then in a few years' time, do the same and see what I've learned throughout the years. So, without further ado, let's just jump straight into a new project. But before we get started, I'd like to give a small update about Space Odyssey. Don't worry, the game is not dead, the game is not being dropped. The thing is, everything I read online tells me that I should start off with small games to build up experience. And Space Odyssey started off relatively small, but has grown in scope in the meantime, and I feel like it has become too big of a project to see as a starting game. And that's why I want to create a new small game, actually small game, to gain some more experience, to go through the whole flow of creating something from scratch and then releasing it. And that's why we start a new project. So no, Space Odyssey is not dead. It'll just take a little bit longer to be developed. That being said, now we can actually jump into the project. Let's go. Okay, and so the first thing I want to do is brainstorm. I've already come up with a sort of title because I already kind of know what I want to make, but the first thing I would do is brainstorm. And so the title of the project will be Astro Assault, and it'll be some sort of space shooter. So if we quickly write this stuff out, right? If we look at movement, then I only want A and D keys. And it's only from left to right. We won't be going up and down. And to shoot, the mouse click is the shoot button, right? The ship is positioned at the bottom of the screen. Right, here we go. Okay, let's think a bit more about the game. We want to really avoid scope creep and adding too much to the game, right? So I think having some power-ups would be nice, but we keep it limited to 3. We have a health power-up, a shield power-up which blocks incoming attack, and a bomb power-up just to clear the current field. What we also want to do is keep track of a score, a high score. So keep track of a score during the game. We want to keep track of the high score. We will need some sound effects for a hit, a kill, shooting itself, a bomb, a shield maybe, and health. But both of these I'm gonna put a question mark behind because I'm not sure if we actually do. What do we need as well? Power-ups, but we also, of course, need something to shoot at, right? Which is enemies. I think if we stick to only 3 enemies, you have the default one, you have a dasher, maybe, and something that spawns projectiles. Right, but because this may not be enough, we also would like, or I also think, adding some environment. Wow, English, it's been a long day at work. Anyway, we'd like to add some environment things as well, which I think would be cool if we add a meteor and maybe a shipwreck. Right. I'm thinking sprites. Right, we also need some sprites. Bullet, ship, 3 enemies, bomb, death, hearts for our health bar or heart system, power-ups. So we have 3. We have 3 enemies. I'm gonna do it the same way. We have 3 as well. Yes, and those are the things I can think of right now. So if I go to Excalibur and put this away, because that's something for Space Odyssey itself, now we can actually just start to create something. A quick mock-up screen. So this is the screen. We are the rectangle here. We have multiple enemies coming towards us. There we go. I actually think it's faster if I just duplicate it. So we have enemies coming towards us. We can move to the right, but I want an arrow. Why is my arrow so tiny? Okay. No clue why the arrow is so tiny. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. Let's turn this around. Keep it about the same length. It's just a mock-up. It doesn't need to be perfect, but it triggers me a bit that it's not exactly the same length, but that's fine. There we go. So we can move to the left and to the right. There are enemies coming towards us. We shoot projectiles, bullets. There we go. And if we duplicate this and just, let's say we were just coming from the left, but let's space them a bit further apart. There we go. So our bullets will just be shot right in front of us. There's also a power-up which can spawn here, for example, behind an enemy, and these things are constantly scrolling down, right? So I want to make sure that that's clear. All the entities in here are constantly scrolling down. Okay, if we now, I don't think that I cannot zoom out any further. Oh, I understand, because I'm at 10% zoom, that's why the arrows look so small. Okay, so we'll get rid of the enemies. And let's see, right? There could also be some, can't I make a, I cannot seem to make a triangle. Okay, that's fine. Then we'll specify this by enemy, which is very, 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 very small. Maybe I should have not made this at 10%, but oh well, we're here now. Second enemy, let's say that you are a ship wreck, and if I do it this way, I don't actually need to create a second thing, right? You are a power-up, right? And you are the player. There we go. So as you can see, very basic stuff. What we are missing is a score counter. The score, which is way too small here as well. We'll keep track of the score right here, and then I'm quickly going to fill this in. Let's say you have, I don't know, three health bars, so three lives. So you can get hit 3 times and then you die. Very simple arcade game. I think, yeah, I think this is it, right? I don't think for now we need anything more. So let's go back in here. Let's add a section to the game design document. Mockups, right? And here we go. So we got our mockup, and then I'd say we, because I like to structure my documents a bit more, let's say we have our key concepts, and everything now should be one header less. Enemies, environment, power-ups. Let's look at the score as well, and then the sound effect. Oh, and the sprites, of course. The sprites as well. Right. Okay. Nice. I think these would be the first steps in my opinion. Or this is how I start and tackle a game project anyway. I do some brainstorming, write down some key concepts, try and make a very, very rudimentary sketch of what I want the game to look like. And just basically turn an idea into something on paper, which is, in my opinion, or for me at least, which is very important. Okay, right. Looks good for the first step. I will sign off here. Thank you for watching. And I hope you learned something along the way in this series as well. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Your captain out. Bye bye.